I'm at some point I'm going to try and work out how time operates and what century we're in, and so forth. I'll come back to that. I might probably going to ask JD about it, or John. John is definitely in this century. He wasn't. He was born just towards the end of the last one, but he thinks mostly in this century, whereas I think I'm only gradually getting used to. Well, certainly the music. Anyway, going back to the tweets which I've retweeted, which you can find if you follow or just look up Will789GB or WENOTNO on X or Twitter. By the way, I'm getting more happier about having stayed with what was Twitter. There's so much going on at the moment, so many different opinions, that if you search about a bit, you will find all sorts of things there. The idea that the original Twitter can be replaced by something massive and coherent, it turns out not to be quite right. I'll say more about this in various tweets and things. You'll take up too much time on the radio. But anyway, the We Don't Know show has got an X account, WENOTNO. That's the important thing to mention here, I think. So couple more tweets, both of them based on. Well, no, another one from started out on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn. Will Pollard, you should find on LinkedIn, and there's a wider range of person still definitely on LinkedIn than is still hanging about on X. Anyway, the point is this: Phil Hill, who is a researcher and consultant on online learning, he's done a post and a lot of research on actually where the online universities are finding their students come from, and he's discovered it's very various. It's mostly based on the United States, but there's various sort of sectors or scales of university, and some of them are very local. Although they're online, they're not reaching an interest outside their state or their area in a lot of cases. And he hasn't said very much about an international market for online learning, which I don't know whether he was writing just for an American audience. Sometimes that's the case, but I think on the evidence he's got here, that's not really happening yet. Though I think it might do, especially as there's all the visa problems in the UK and Australia and a few other places, or people don't want to go to some other places. I think the online option within the global market. I'm going on like this because partly because this week there is Digital Universities Conference in Birmingham, and it was in Exeter year before last. It was in Lancaster last year, and connected to it there's a #HigherEd conference, which is also in Birmingham and was in Lancaster, and I don't think there was one of those in Exeter. I'm not sure about that. I'd like to meet people in Exeter who were at the Digital Universities one 2 years ago, or any of the other ones, because they've been going on around the UK for a while. But it's my memory that I don't remember anything about the #one in Exeter, which is odd, because we are like minds. Those conferences, there's been It's not every year, but they've been going on for a long time in Exeter. So I would have thought there would have been an interest in that had there been one, or it might crop up again. But anyway, the other one, the other tweet came out of YouTube. I did a search on digital universities, and this is one of the ones that came up, which is actually a little bit outside of universities as such. It's from IBM, and it's about AI and education. So it's a sideways take on the education world, I would say. It's really advocating a slightly different understanding of what learning is. And I've got a hashtag I'm promoting, HRLearn26, and the reason for that is the Learning Technologies show has another show caught up with it, on human resources. So the Learning Technologies is mostly learning and development, but the main bit of HR is also there. And so this is a sort of what I'm trying to find out is a different sort of understanding of what learning is that's acceptable in the world of HR or workplace learning, and then find out what the academics make of that, because they're still interested. But if you just try and work out what's happening with the way universities think about AI and learning, it's not obvious what's going on. I think there's more going on than you can find written down anywhere, but I think that's all I'll say at the moment. But it's something to come back to. So this hashtag HRLearn26 is just a way of keeping track of that. And the other thing to mention is IBM, I don't think, are going to be at Learning Technologies. They've been there previous years, but they're maybe not there, except through YouTube videos that are highly relevant. So it may the other thing is it may be just that trade shows are fading away anyway. But I don't think that's the reason. I think if the companies aren't there, like Adobe not being at BET and IBM not being at Learning Technologies, there's something else going on. And you would think IBM would benefit from AI, but maybe there's large parts of what they have been offering to HR that actually won't need the same level of turnover or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, back to the music. This is